All right, boys and girls, we're now going to study The Carnival of the Animals by Camille Saens, a French composer. We're going to start just with a short history of who Camille Saens was and his work, Carnival of the Animals. Then we're going to do 2 listenings on our journey today. But Carnival of the Animals is such a great piece of music that there are other listenings I encourage you to check out later. So first, let's learn about the composer. Saens was born in France in 1835. That's over 100 and some years ago. At 10, he was a star and played the piano. He would have definitely made it onto America's Got Talent or any of those superstar shows that we have today. At age 13, he began composing. That would be like around your 7th or 8th grade year in school. He started writing his own music. By the time he passed away, he wrote over 300 musical works. And Carnival of the Animals was to be published in his lifetime. And he didn't want it to be published. He thought it would damage his reputation, which is he thought it would maybe hurt his musical thoughts or abilities or other people's thoughts about him. And they didn't publish Carnival of the Animals to be performed or written down for others to learn until after he had passed away, and now it's one of his most famous pieces of music. Carnival of the Animals is a set of orchestral character pieces. Each of them are meant to describe a particular animal. That's why I said we're going to visit the carnival this week. The sounds are meant to mimic or sound like the character or animal in the way it moves or carries itself. So think about that for a second. If we first visited the elephants, elephants move, that's right, slow. They're large, so maybe he would choose a large instrument or have the tempo move very slowly. There are so many great animals at the carnival. We're going to skip ahead to movement called the cuckoo and one of the final movements called the fossils. The cuckoo is great because it has the perfect high-low sound that I want you to learn about in kindergarten. So let's skip ahead. You'll notice for 2 solo pianos and an orchestra. You might hear the flute, piccolo, clarinet, xylophone, and glockenspiel. It used to be written for a glass harmonica, but the glockenspiel is a tiny little xylophone made of metal, and you play it with mallets. And of course, we will hear the string family, the cello, the double bass or string bass, and the violin. So let's skip the first couple. We'll go past the Royal March of the Lions. We'll pass by the hens and roosters and the mules. We'll skip over the very slow tortoise section and the big elephant waltz. And we will hop right past the kangaroos. And we won't get to dive down into the aquarium today, but maybe next time. And we're going to skip over the donkeys and stop here at the Cuckoo in the Woods. The Cuckoo in the Woods is a nice, gentle, calming piece. You might use it even to go to sleep. The cuckoo's call is played by the sweet sound of the clarinet. Listen for the cuckoo throughout the whole piece. He's flying right above you. The piano sounds like footsteps walking into the woods. Pretend as you listen to be tiptoeing through the woods, carefully listening for the call of the cuckoo. The cuckoo bird will sound like this. Cuckoo, 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 cuckoo. And that cuckoo sound will be played again by the clarinet. So maybe you're tiptoeing through your kitchen as you listen, or maybe you're tiptoeing around your table at the dining room. Maybe you're in your living room tiptoeing around. Let's give a listen.
The Cuckoo in the Woods. They say that when the world was made and all the birds were on parade, when songs were given out to learn, the cuckoo must have missed his turn. And so, without a proper song, he just sings cuckoo all day long. He isn't what you'd call a star with such a basic repertoire, and yet that simple two-note phrase casts such a spell on summer days.
Alright, so that is an example of the cuckoo in the woods. I'm going to pause the music and go over to our next one that I want to study. So we're going to skip over a couple more of the animals and finally get to the fossils. Now, the fossils has tons of high and low notes, but the tempo is also what I want you to listen for. Remember, the ta-ta-ta tempo is how fast or slow the steady beat goes. The fossils is going to be played on the xylophone and piano. They play a fast-paced beat for the dancing bones. Then the whole orchestra joins in. The piano is also going to play a little bit of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. And in class, we would use rhythm sticks to keep the beat to this fast-paced song. You can probably keep the beat with spider fingers on your laps. Let's listen to the fossils at our Carnival of the Animals.
The fossils. At midnight in the fossil hall, it's party time for one and all the fossils, one by one, go skittling off to join the fun. The mammoths are a cheery lot, and watch the stegosaurs gavotte, while high above this ghastly troop, the pterodactyls loop the loop. Tyrannosaurus gives a sigh to think of good old days gone by, then sheds a sentimental tear and goes and has another beer. Now the exhibition floors are filled with rattling dinosaurs, but in the morning, not a trace, for everyone is back in place.
right, I hope you liked a taste of the fossils. That's one of my favorites. Now we're going to do a little activity. So you're going to go back to the main page, and we will then make some Carnival of the Animal crowns as a craft. You get to pick whichever crown you want. My example will probably be the Cuckoo, but I left all the crowns in a link for you to choose which one you wanted to make. Maybe you want to make the March of the Lions crown, or maybe you enjoy the Fossils crown. I also saved a link in our instructions if you want to listen to the entire Carnival of the Animals, or if you want to learn more about each of the different movements, you can skip ahead in that listening. I hope you enjoyed Carnival of the Animals, and I can't wait to see the carnival crowns that you make.